This video is for the person who feels talentless, like you just weren't gifted and you weren't given a talent of sort. Or maybe for the person who feels like you were given a talent or a gift, but you just see that there's so many people around you that are so much more talented than you are. Maybe it discourages you. Maybe you felt like, man, like how am I supposed to succeed or do anything bigger with my life if I can't even have that base level of talent that I see these super successful people getting? This video is for you. My name is Andres Tagliaferro, or you could just call me Tags. But today I want to talk about the idea of talent, right? What that means, how it affects you as an individual trying to pursue your passion or chase your dream or build that business. But most importantly, I want to tell you that talent isn't everything it's cut out to be. We hear the adjective of, oh, wow, you're so talented, or he's so talented, or she's so talented. We see shows like America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent. And the idea of talent has become like, if you have talent, if you are talented, it means that you are very good at what you do. The reality is that talent is just one part of a large spectrum that dictates how you operate and how great you are at something. Being talented, to me, my definition of talent is your natural God-given ability to do said thing. So for example, I could say Alicia Keys is more talented than Taylor Swift, right? I believe that. I think that's true. But that doesn't change the fact that Taylor Swift is a bigger, more commercial, has made more money, has been more successful as an artist than Alicia Keys, right? Talent it's not everything. There are so many people who get so far in life without it, without being the most talented or with no talent at all. And I want you to leave this video knowing that even if you lack talent in an area, that should not stop you from being the very best in that area. Right now, I'm reading this book. It's called Mindshift. It Doesn't Take a Genius to Think Like One by Erwin McManus. If you don't know who he is, he's a thought leader, futurist, speaker, coach. But he's most known for lead pastor and founder of Mosaic Church. It's a church in Los Angeles. I love how he's been able to communicate universal truths and show people how to improve their lives. He's basically giving us 12 mind shifts that we can make today to structure our mind for success. And that's kind of how he introduces the book. It's the idea that somebody can be structured for failure and somebody could be structured for success. And it's our responsibility to make those mind shifts to structure ourselves for success. And so since this is a self-improvement and self-development channel, I thought it'd be really cool to read it myself and see what he thinks are the 12 most important mind shifts to make, since that's really what I'd be talking about in this channel the most, giving you a different perspective on things like talent. That's actually one of the mind shifts in that book. And the title is really cool. It says, talent is a hallucinogen. What he says in the book, long story short, is that talent isn't a bad thing and it's not a good thing. It's just an illusion. It's something that a lot of people put too much value in, and usually it becomes a hallucinogen in the fact that it makes you not see the other stuff that matter. So somebody who's a very talented singer, right? They have a great voice, but has a horrible character, is not humble, isn't patient, isn't gonna succeed. Even though they're super talented, they don't have the other things that they need to be a successful artist. And so the main statement I wanted to say here about talent is that it doesn't move the needle. There is a ceiling to your talent. And actually, in that book, he says that it's almost better not to have a talent because you don't have some sort of bias as to what you're supposed to be good at or what you're meant to be, right? When we're naturally gifted in something, we might even lie to ourselves and think, well, we don't have to work any further. We don't have to learn any more. And I'll speak from experience here. I was a victim of giving my talent too much air, too much of an ego, right? I gave my talent in photography and video. I was so naturally talented. It was funny. When I first started getting into the space, people used to tell me like, man, you have an eye for it. I did get to a point where because of that talent, I thought I didn't need to learn that much more. I learned like the basics and I was good and I could get away with what I was doing. And then for like a season of like a year, let's say from 2019 to 2020, I saw my peers just kind of elevate and get better. A few of them picked up some new skills in video editing that I didn't have. And I just saw them just getting more clients, more success, more this or that. Their videos just looked better than mine. I was like, what's going on? I know I'm more talented than this person, but talent became a hallucinogen to me. I was looking at talent from a different place than you should. Instead of seeing that, oh, maybe I have a faster on-ramp to be successful because I'm talented in it. I saw it from a different perspective of like, well, I'm more talented than this person, so I should get more this than this person. I should be more successful. And that was a detriment to me. And that's something I've struggled with in other areas of my life too, that I've tried to chase and passions that I have. And I really had to, that first example of the video stuff, of being a good video editor naturally, was a really cool wake-up call for me, because I learned very quickly not to allow my talent in anything or natural ability in anything to mean anything. The truth is that talent really means nothing without all of the other surrounding characteristics, like being a hard worker and work ethic, patience, persistence, all of these other, humility, right? All of these other things that culminate and become who you are when you are successful. These are the things that the talented person, or somebody who feels like they have an advantage by being talented, a way that they're actually disadvantaged. And then they put so much thought and like praise and glory on the talent that they don't develop this other stuff that the talentless have the benefit of knowing they need to excel in to even catch up. And so what you'll see in stories of most people is that the talentless person who just puts their head down and works and grinds and works their butt off to get better in all of those other areas ends up being more successful than the talented person. I mean, there's so many stories I have in my head that I could like tell y'all. This is like a story that repeats itself over and over again. And I wanted to talk about this because I know that when, especially in the self-development side of YouTube, when you're watching all of these things, the beautiful part of the self-development side of YouTube, and if you're seeking out these videos, is that you are aware that there are things you lack that you're trying to get better, things that you're trying to improve on. That in and of itself is a blessing. And I wanted to, sit here and tell you guys that if you have felt like you're like not as talented as the next person, that's not a bad thing. That's a blessing in disguise, and instead of being discouraged by the fact that you're not talented, see the advantages that come with that. You now have the opportunity to grow in your patience, in your hard work, in the amount of hours you put in, and have hope. And this is the other part, have hope. The hope for the people who feel like they're not talented. Me, I felt like I wasn't talented in music when I started. I felt like there's so many other people more talented than me. There's other areas in my life where I felt like I'm not as talented, so what's the point? But knowing and coming into that mind shift a long time ago, it wasn't just in this book, right? It was just cool to confirm it, but that mind shift of, man, talent doesn't really matter. And seeing, as you get older, maybe if you're a teenager watching this and maybe you haven't lived life enough, you just start seeing those people who were quiet and weren't so talented in the beginning. You see those people who just keep their head down and just focus on themselves, and they just build this side of their life and learn how to be humble and learn how to do this skill better, and they just stick to that routine of self-improvement. You see them on top in like 5 to 10 years time, and you see the talented person setback after setback because they're just leaning in on their talent and they're not trying to develop the rest of themselves. I wanted to encourage you guys, if you feel less talented than the next person, because the truth is there's always going to be somebody more talented than you, more naturally gifted than you. I wanted to encourage you. The hard workers persevere. The hard workers, the people who keep going, are the ones who get there. So just don't be discouraged by the fact that there might be other people more talented than you. At the end of the race, when you're in your 30s and you have a career in whatever you're trying to do, right? You're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, man, thank you, God. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I didn't give up. And it was because of that mind shift that I realized talent isn't the end all be all. But yeah, if you like this video and if you like what I shared and you agreed, let me know. Drop a comment, join the community. I'm trying to build a community where it's bigger than me. I don't want it to just be me talking to you guys and you guys replying to me. But y'all talk to each other in the comments. I love seeing that. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed this fresh little mind shift. And there's going to be a couple more videos here. So if you want to keep learning and maybe just throw this up on your TV while you're working or whatever it is, go ahead and do that. But it's been your boy, Andres Tagliaferro. You already know what to call me. No matter how talented or untalented you feel like you are, you can be a hard worker. And you can improve in the other areas that matter so much more than talent. So no matter where you are in your journey, just remember to stay grateful. Peace.